Looking for a curly hair technique to increase your revenue and save time behind the chair? Well, I'm Jania Church, Schwarzkopf professional artistic team member. Let me show you how. So our client came in today and she wanted some organic curl definition. And what that means is she doesn't have time to do any additional creative styling techniques in the morning. She wanted something that was going to alleviate frizz, but also get her out the door much quicker. So this technique is gonna be perfect for that. And so we're gonna begin by prepping her hair. Before we go to shampoo, we want to prep the hair by detangling it first. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in using the Detangling Spray conditioner. This product is great because it does provide some moisture to the hair as we start to detangle it. So we don't wanna just jump right in with our brush. We definitely wanna go in and just moisten the hair. This helps to loosen the curl and allow for easier separation before you start the detangling process. This will help just so that when we go to prep the hair, we're identifying what's going to be the best technique for that client based on her curl texture and pattern. So the hair feels nice and moist now, so easy to detangle. So we are going to just go in with our fingers and just separate the hair. Starting from the bottom, working up to the top. If additional moisture is needed, we'll spray. I am using a brush that does not have balls on the ends. It's very important for me because a lot of times I find that brushes that have the balls at the end sometimes snag or pull the curls. So what it does for me is it allows for much ease of detangling. And it's also more gentler for your client's hair as well. So we're gonna start at the bottom, at the ends, working our way up. And what this does is it helps to detangle any knots or any tangles that may have gotten into the hair just over a period of time. Just because the hair is coily, that tends to happen quite a bit. So I am putting more tension on the hair at the mid-length to make sure that this is preventing any pulling or anything that's gonna be tugging here. This is not affecting her hair at the scalp. So it's definitely gonna be more comforting to the client, but putting less stress on the hair. So you can see we're able to detangle through these curls much easier. This is also gonna be great for you to prep the hair also before a haircut. This step is very important. A lot of times I've noticed that clients have come in and they've told me that they can tell if someone's comfortable with textured hair just by the way they begin the service. A lot of times people want to just go in and just start brushing, but the clients are in the chair, they're cringing because they know this is damaging the hair potentially. So you want to make sure that you are having that consultation with your client and even talking to them about what they should do at home as well when they're caring for their hair in between services. This is going to be much better. So we're going to begin to work around the head, starting at the bottom, working our way to the top. So as you're working through curly hair, sometimes you will get these areas that you can tell it's really hard to separate. What I like to do is just go in and definitely moisten that area a little bit more. And you can really start to pull away with your fingers just to separate it. You don't want to just yank the hair, and it's important to make sure that you're aware that when you go through, as you're beginning this process of detangling, as you're considering haircuts as well as color. So is this something that you guys struggle with at home? Have you had this experience of where do I begin when working with textured hair? Hopefully this helps you. Please leave in the comments if you found this information to be very helpful for you. Perfect, so now you see that we've actually detangled half of her head, and you can see now how this particular process is gonna help you analyze the hair for the cutting, but also get her in a perfect position for your shampooing with less tangles at the bowl. Now we just came back from our client being freshly shampooed. After detangling her, we shampooed her with Blondie All Blondes Rich Shampoo and Conditioner, and then we followed with a mask. I really like to use the Blondie Care line for my textured clients because blondes and textured hair have a lot of the same needs. The hair can be fragile, it can require a lot more nourishment and moisture. So therefore I feel like Blami Care is the perfect solution and foundation for prep for this technique. So now we're gonna go into organic curl definition. With this particular technique, again, I mentioned how my client came in and she's saying she has very little time in the morning. She wanted the technique that she could use, that she doesn't have to do much of a creative technique, just something that she can make sure that she's gonna minimize the frizz as well as enhance the curl definition. So this will be a perfect technique for that. I am gonna go in with a shingling technique for this client, and so I'm gonna demonstrate that by going in first, making sure that the hair is still nicely moistured, because sometimes when the hair is really fine, you will find that it tends to dry sometimes just from the time that you leave the shampoo bowl and work to the chair. You're gonna see that that hair will tend to get a little dry, and it will make it harder for you to separate and detangle and do this technique. So we will begin, we're creating a subsection starting at the base and working up to the top. We're gonna section that off. Choosing products, you wanna take into consideration the curl pattern as well as the density and the texture of the hair. So for this particular client and for this technique, we are gonna go with Bounty Balm, which is our lightest hold product. Doesn't have a strong hold factor at all, but it's great for, it's a curl cream that helps to nourish the hair, but we can cocktail it and add a little hold by cocktailing it with one of our other products. So I'm gonna cocktail it with Curl Jam, just to get in a little bit of the Curl Jam. Definitely more Bounty Balm than Curl Jam, and I am gonna cocktail those two together and emulsify it in my fingers so that I use my fingers and my hands as a reservoir for product, because we are gonna make sure that this is thoroughly saturated by coming in and really working the product, not just on the surface of the hair or underneath. We wanna make sure that we're working the product internally as well. So now you see we are really working through the hair, making sure that it's properly saturated. And with this technique, this is called shingling. So with shingling, it's gonna give you the most natural, organic curl definition, because we're allowing the curls to just live where they are. And whatever direction the curls are lying, they're definitely gonna lay in that state. However, our key thing is making sure that we have proper product saturation. You can tell if you have proper product saturation if you're not seeing hair frizz or pop up through the strands. You can see that this is all nicely, it's got a nice sheen to the hair as well. So now we're gonna go in, we're gonna use our fingers as combs, and we're gonna slightly just shake the hair. And then I like to give it a nice little curl encouragement by scrunching. And you can see the separation here. So we're gonna use our fingers as comb. We're gonna just really make sure to rake through the hair and just shake to just bring that curl back. And we're pushing, we're shaking and we're pushing. And you can see those curls starting to fall and clump together. And this is what we call organic texture. So you can see there's a slight S pattern, but then you see some areas that are a little bit straighter. The more this kind of sits and gets more lived in, the curls will start to, like really shape up and provide more definition. So now we're gonna go in with another subsection. Our section's about 1/2 inch to 1 inch. So we didn't have to go back through and get more product because we still have product on our hands. So we're just using that as a reservoir and just bringing that product to the center and really working through the hair. Again, wanting to get that nice shine on the hair with the product and making sure that we don't see any hair like sticking out, any dry areas or anything of that nature. So we are going to our next subsection, making sure that the hair is nice and moist. So it allows for product absorption, but it's not dripping wet. So we're gonna use Bounty Balm, and we're using Bounty Balm because it doesn't have a strong hold factor. It's gonna give you just a natural hold and a natural shine. It is a rich curl cream that works really well. It can be cocktailed with any of our other curly hair products. So then we're gonna cocktail it with Curl Jam. Emulsify them together. We're gonna work on top and underneath and also in between. Getting a nice shine on the hair. And now we're gonna take this process and go throughout the whole head. Okay, so now we have completed everything except for this last front section. So this is my last section. So I wanna make sure that my client has the ability to style her hair to the left or to the right or in center if she chooses to. So I am going to style everything coming forward, and then that's the way that we're gonna diffuse it as well, but just making sure that we take horizontal sections like we have been doing for everything else, and we're just gonna come straight down. We already have a product in our hands. We're gonna make sure that the hair is saturated. We come in and shingle, and then we see the curls starting to clump together here. We just kind of give it a little bit of curl encouragement by giving a little zhoosh. Okay, so now we're all completed. We're gonna just do a quick turn. So you can see a nice shine or glisten to the hair. You don't see a lot of product build up that's sitting on top of the hair. This is a great way for it to start. And now we're gonna begin our diffusing process. We wanna get the hair at least 90 degrees off the scalp, and we want to ensure that that's just gonna give a little bit extra lift at the roots. If the client is at home, again, this is not something that they have to do, however, it will aid in creating more fullness and volume. Gently go in and just lift the hair. And you really wanna stay in the same place for a little bit before you just, see a lot of people just going in and moving the diffuser all over. Sometimes that works for some people, however, sometimes the extra manipulation actually creates more frizz. So if you allow the cast to really set and form first, that really does help to aid in just locking in that product so that the hair does not frizz as much. So as you can see, we're finishing up our diffusing, and once the hair is really good and set, you can go in and really start to work the root area, just working my fingers in a circular motion. I also was taking my diffuser and going in closer to the scalp, so then it created a little bit more lift at the root area and gives you more volume. So as you can see, this technique has created nice curl definition with volume internally at the roots by the diffusing technique, as well as our finishing products. So we have now gone in with Bounty Balm and cocktailed it with Curl Jam. And now just to finish off, I am gonna use our Fiber Clinics light oil that has bonding technology. Just gonna go in and help to really break up that cast a little bit more, give some added shine as well. Okay guys, so this is our finished look, and now we want to take it and elevate it and make it more editorial, have a little fun, or just enhance the volume. Some of our clients come in and they really want to play up that volume with the texture. So this is what we're gonna do. So we have already gone in with our diffuser, and we kind of started massaging at the roots really to like in a circular motion. And what that does is it really helps to break up the subsections that we created, that we used to create this look. So now we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna go in and really start to work the scalp in circular motion. So this is what I'm doing inside the head. Still with a systematic approach, working at the roots. And as I'm working out, I'm coming out to the ends and I'm lifting. The key here is making sure you don't disturb the ends too much so that we're able to make sure that we still maintain that nice curl definition, but we're creating internal volume. So internally, you might see less of that curl definition, but the exterior will still show a really nice curl definition, but with more height and volume. So sometimes when I'm working on editorial shoots and we pre-color the model the day before, I will set her hair and then allow her to just come back the next day, and then this is when we'll take it and really amp up the look. What do you guys think? So I'm actually using my fingers as a comb to basically back comb the hair, still leaving the ends intact as I'm working more so at the root area to create more lift and volume. So you can see how much more amped up we are with this look. You want to find balance, so you want to constantly check yourself in the mirror just to see the shape. And so now, technique that I'm using is I'm just pushing the hair in so we create nice structure internally and still more of that organic feel on the ends. The setting is the foundation, so it's very important to make sure that we have that set really locked in and that cast really locked in before we go through and start doing anything like this. Otherwise, you're going to create more frizz than you are texture and curl definition. Now we're going to use our Osis Elastic, which is our flexible holding hairspray, and really just work around the hair, allowing that hair to set before we drop. You can also go in at the roots and use more texture products. We have lots of options you can use with Schwarzkopf, but I love using elastic because most of the time when we're working on set, we're changing out looks. So this is going to be a flexible hold so that we're able to break the hair up, change the style, and also continue to work throughout the shoot. So what do you guys think about this look? Is this something you guys could do at home? Is it something your clients are looking for? Comment below and be sure to stay tuned to more creative content.